Welcome to Music at Noon. Nice to see you. We will be treated with beautiful vocal art today by Vocal Art Ensemble, based in Davis, California, under the direction of Tracia Barbieri. They have been singing for you here at Music at Noon for 15 years. They started in 2008, and we were one of the first venues for Vocal Art Ensemble. Hope you enjoy what they have today. They are very unique in choral art. They have their own artistic signature, very firmly impressed by Tracia Barbieri, who is artistic director. And sometimes they move around when they sing, and I call it choralography. And they may do a little of that today, but they will do more of that at their full program. And Tracia will talk to you about the music today and also upcoming concerts. Please give Vocal Art Ensemble a warm welcome.
Test. There it is. It's not very often I have to raise the microphone for me. Hello and welcome. Today's program is called SAVOR, and the premise behind this concert is that listening to and appreciating fine choral music can be somewhat like the experience of tasting fine chocolate. So we've made all of the pieces relate to some sort of dessert, some sort of chocolate dessert. And I'm going to help guide you through a little bit of what things you could be listening for, so therefore what things you can be tasting. So for instance, this very first piece is from the southern, has some southern harmony roots, which have kind of a complex tang, maybe even a little bit of jazz aftertaste. You might be able to pick up on a little bit of that, but it's rich and creamy, and I hope you enjoy it. So I hope that you're starting to get a sense already of the idea of bittersweet. Music that has both some sense of longing, some sense of unrequited feelings, and yet some resolution. So that was definitely a very bittersweet piece. This next piece, the LACRYMOSA, is also very bittersweet, because LACRYMOSA means bitter tears. So it's from a requiem, a mass for the dead. But this is not your dark Austrian Mozart label, LACRYMOSA, some of you might be familiar with. This is Czech, so therefore it's a little bit brighter. It's got a little bit more fruitiness. And in the center of it all, a plum plainchant. right, so the last in your flight of our bittersweet line of chocolates is a CRUCIFIXUS. CRUCIFIXUS combines the sorrows of the crucifixion the bitter, right? With the joy of redemption, the sweet. This also utilizes some of the deepest dark chocolate in the entire VAE palette, coming from that guy over there. As you can tell, the human voice has quite a range. Yes, you heard a low C. But that's not all. Because in the range of the singers this season, we have 4 octaves. Yes, that's a high C you will hear in the sopranos. Now you would think, okay, wow, with 4 octaves, it must be the men have the lower 2 octaves and the women have the higher 2 octaves, but there's a lot more overlap or blend. In other words, we have everything from 85 dark ganache chocolate all the way up to white chocolate and marshmallow cream, I guess you could say. So we've got 3 octaves per for each gender. So, men, all the way up to that C, and women, all the way down to that C. You just heard it in that last piece. So we get a lot of options for blending. And so this is now the blending section of our concert. And so this next one is a piece that is normally sung by men, because in the Renaissance, women were not often allowed to sing in church. Only convents and men were the ones that would sing. But this time we've recrafted this as a new blend for women. By the way, in case you know your Latin, fiat in voluntas tua means thy will be done. This was the prayer that Jesus sung on the Mount of Olives, asking the cup be taken from him, but then he knows he has to do what is asked of him. And it's quite different hearing it in women's voices, isn't it? Because then it's like angels looking over, something along those lines. Now this next one, something totally different from male voices. This is a lullaby. Again, not something you normally hear sung by men, usually sung by women, but instead we're going for the opposite blend. And I think you're going to particularly enjoy the falsetto mousse layer in this chocolate cake of Dutch cocoa. Hint, because it's a Pennsylvanian Dutch, they are singing in Pennsylvanian Dutch. So it's Dutch cocoa with a falsetto mousse layer. very sweet lullaby with just a dusting of powdered sugar, the women's voices in that middle verse, right? I hope you're starting to understand and appreciate there's no one way to taste choir music, but that you can really enjoy all the different flavors. So now for something, a nice creamy, rich milk chocolate, a mug of drinking chocolate, maybe even spiked with a little bit of Scottish brandy, is the Scottish drinking song, but sung by women, not men. I hope you are starting to whet your appetite for a more complicated type of chocolate, a tempered chocolate. A tempered chocolate is something that has been, melted and cooled and mixed multiple times to get just the right bonds between all the notes and rhythms that we have going on in this choral pieces of music. So this first one, Go Down Moses, you've probably heard the tune. Maybe you've heard the tune before. When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. How many people have heard that before? Well, now you've all heard it. You should, everybody's hand should go up because you just heard it. No, seriously. So this is a the original material, you could say, came from the Hebrew Bible, because it's about the oppression of the Israelites in Egypt. This appealed to, of course, those enslaved in the American South, because it gave them hope for freedom. It was actually outlawed. It was actually used as a code song by Harriet Tubman for the Underground Railroad. The first written record that we actually have of this song, though, is by Reverend Lewis Lockwood, who was a white anti-slavery crusader, who wrote it down as, you know, as a song. Actually, it's called Song of the Contrabands. So I want you to hear that first before we do our tempered version. You could even say this is the first tempering of the song. So I've got my son Kian up here, who's going to sing that for us. Definitely sounds like a song from a different time already, doesn't it? So now the next tempering that we're going to do here is by Michael Tippett, who was a English composer who wrote a pacifist oratorio in the 1930s and 40s, speaking out against the Nazi regime. So he wrote this piece of music. So if you think about it, this tempering has brought it full circle, and now it is again calling out for against the oppression of the Israelites. for a tempered chocolate with a completely different flavor. We're going to bring on our Dulaman. Dulaman is, I guess you could say, it's an Irish whiskey-filled chocolate with a dash of sea salt on the top. For an extra layer of tempering, we actually have sung this in this space before, but with completely and totally different soloists than we did. Well, it's been a while now. This is our 15th anniversary season, and if I'm not mistaken, the last time we sang this was in our 5th anniversary season, so it's been a little while. But I hope you enjoy this Dulaman.
Tulemangela, Ramuchana knowledge, Tulemangela, Piano Procateur, and Tulemangela, Tuleman, Pinuki Tuleman, Tulemangela, Tulemana, Farage Tuleman, Tulemangela, Bragabraha, Tulemangela, Tepalagas, Trusella, Tulemangela, Tulemana, Pinuki Tuleman, Tulemangela, Tulemana, Farage Tuleman. Tulemangela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulamana, Pinupigela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulamana, Pinupigela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulaman, Tulemangela, Tulamana, Farake Tulaman, Tulemangela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulamana, Pinupigela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulamana, Pinupigela. Tuleman, Pinupi Tuleman, Tulemangela, Tulemana, Farake Tuleman, Tulemangela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulamana, Pinupigela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulamana, Pinupigela, Tulemana, Pinupi Tuleman, Tulemana, Farake Tuleman, Tulemangela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulamana, Pinupigela, Tulamana, Pinupi Tulamana, Pinupigela.
All right, another song, actually I think that's been, let's see, I have to think about this one, so 2013 is the last time. This next song, Hard Times, very, very relatable song right now, of course. How many of us have not been able to sing together for about 2 years during the pandemic? All of us, yes, of course. How many times? We're just now starting to get back into concerts and singing again, which we love, of course. So this song, Hard Times, Come Again, No More, very relatable right now. We have done this one before, but not since 2013. Again, also that layer of tempering that it's all new soloists. But really, what this song is all about, it's a Stephen Foster tune. So very simple Stephen Foster tune from, again, about the same time as Lewis Lockwood was transcribing Go Down Moses. But this Norwegian-American Craig Helle Johnson has arranged this into, we'll call it the gourmet version of the 7-layer dessert bar, because we've got like toasted almonds and milk, dark chocolate chunks and slivered, coconut, and you can just see how many different flavors you get. But I will tell you, this piece is tremendously difficult to try to put together into one dessert, so I hope that all our time in the kitchen has been worth it.
Let us pause in life's pleasures and count its many tears, while we all sub sorrow with the pause. There's a song that will linger forever
So tempering does not necessarily make, well, it definitely makes the music more complicated, but it doesn't necessarily make it more serious or challenging to listen to. This next piece, Wade in the Water, another code song for the American South. Wading in the water was a way for escaping slaves to throw the dogs off the scent. Very, very serious subject matter, and yet this piece that we have here has a lot of pizzazz. So where does that come from? Well, it's that burst of resilience. That's the key ingredient that has managed to keep this African-American spiritual as the inspiration for so many different artists along the way, including this one is Ellen Kepke, a white choir director from Iowa, who wrote this arrangement for his show choir. Probably won lots of competitions with it, but I think it definitely still has that burst of resilience and energy, and I hope you really enjoy it. All right, I think you are definitely a discerning enough audience now for our single origin chocolate. Single origin chocolate is one variety of bean that comes from just a single place, just like sometimes choral music. And I know what you're thinking. It comes from beans? Human beans. All right, fine. I'm obviously not the actress here. Speaking of which, we have this, if you've enjoyed this concert, we're not done yet, I know, but if you enjoyed this concert and you want to either tell people about it or you would like to come again, we have it next weekend in Davis, and there's going to be a whole acting component, and you will really be able to taste more, develop your appreciation for lots more of the elements. I'm just kind of glossing over it because we only have, you know, less than an hour here. So I have to gloss over it a little bit faster. So please do come to the concerts if you would like to know more. We also have a mailing list clipboard just outside if you came in this way. So please put your name down and we'll put you on our mailing list so that you can find out about more future concerts. So our first single origin chocolate is a Brazilian folk tune. The words are not what matters because it's a toad in a hole, a boy, and a dance party, and that's it. But it's all about nutty vocal percussion. So you're going to get to have that texture. It's all about the percussion for the ladies. So now for a single origin chocolate that leans a lot more on melody. In fact, it leans almost on melody. And in fact, the name of the piece, MLK, is not even mentioned in the piece, but it is a bit of a prayer, really, to the memory of the dream of Martin Luther King. And then we're going to go straight into that, into Ezekiel, which is another African-American spiritual that hews very close to its origins by Moses Hogan. Many of you may have heard of Moses Hogan, who unfortunately died very young, but thankfully gave us 88 arrangements for voice. So that is about a wheel within a wheel within a wheel, very similar to that of like a hazelnut inside of a wafer, inside of a chocolate, of a Ferrero Rocher chocolate. So I hope that you will enjoy MLK first, spare, poetic, and smoothly coated, and then Ezekiel.
to church for to sing and shout. Some go to church for to sing and shout. Some go to church for to sing. Before 6 months days old. Wheel in the middle of the wheelbarrow, in the middle of the air. Let me tell you what a hypocrite do. Yes, go on and tell me what a hypocrite do. Yes, go on and tell me what a hypocrite do. Tell me. They'll talk about me and you'll talk about you. Wheel in the middle of the wheelbarrow, in the middle of the air. I'm gonna join the heavenly choir. Around this world is set praise on these days about 12 o'clock. This whole world's gonna reel and rock. Turn in, yes. Turn in, yes. Turn, yes.
All natural ingredients, no artificial ingredients in this program. And that means we don't over-amplify beautiful voices so that we hear the voices more than the speakers themselves, the audio speakers. In a world where natural sound has almost been lost, you take advantage of the sound of this room and you give us a pure vocal quality, which is the classic sound, the bel canto sound. And we don't get that very much anymore. And since you don't work for a board of directors, we can actually get the real thing here without having to worry about the stockholders, right? You run a tight ship and a very tight program. My gosh, everything is memorized from the MC to the artists. And the purity of the sound from the highest soprano, not a wobble in the voice, to that underpinning of the bass sound. That's the choral art that is rare. It's gifts that voices don't normally have, and in our world of noise, we just don't hear it very much. So I come from a choral background. My mother was a choral director, and so I miss this very much in our world today, and you bring it to us. We love the sound, probably more than you love being here, which I know is a lot. So anyway, we thank you so much. We wish you continued success. You've never sounded better to my ears. Tracia said to me, you're going to like this program, and I know when she says that, there's going to be something special. You live up to your word every time. It was very special indeed. So we wish you all the very best. Be sure to go to their concert in Davis if you can, hear the entire program. And then if you can help to support their work, please give generously to them. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you again for your concert. And from Music at Noon, we have more treats for you next week. It'll be delicious in a different way. We have the chocolatey, smooth sound of nostalgic swing band. Come and listen to all those great old tunes that we don't hear enough anymore. See you then. Have a great week.
I know, it's a family. Oh, thank you. It's a total family affair because, both my kids are in this one, but also both of Isabel's kids, one of them is doing the acting, the other one's doing all the lighting, and it's my brother's going to go to do Ashley. She's got the high six. Well, thank you. This is my sister Sandy. Hi, I'm glad you're here. This is Tracia. Thank you so much for coming. Nice to meet you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, this is a dress, and then this, we had fun at the store. Oh, is that right? Because we wanted things that look like different, so that we look, if you see the chocolate. Yes, exactly. If you take a postcard there, you'll see that we're a box of chocolates, and everybody's a little, so these are all the different varieties. And